ZKGM everyone, this is Kushi from ZK Verify India, and in this video you will learn how you can build your first ZK application locally on your machine. Now, if you really want to understand what is a ZK application, what are zero knowledge proofs and why they matter, I would highly recommend you to check out our other learning resources. You will find all the video links in the description. Now, let's begin. So for this particular video, I have created a boilerplate repository on GitHub. So you can simply scan this QR code or check out the link, in the description of this video to get started. Or you can also create a sample ZK app, or more like a Noir app locally on your machine. But I'll let you know everything in this video as we proceed. So first up, let's summarize what we are going to do in today's video. Like, it will just take a couple of minutes to understand what theoretically we are doing. And like after this, we will be doing the hands-on stuff on how you can exactly, build with ZK, how you can establish, how you can write circuits, how you can do it on your machine. So the first rule of writing any ZK application is that you define what you are proving. Now, in a simple mental model, in a ZK system, we talk about three major elements. Like on a surface level, we talk about three major elements. There is a prover that gives any claims, that has any claims. There is a verifier that checks if the claim made by the prover is correct or not. And the communication, like the communication between the prover and the verifier, takes place in a system. There's a dedicated system. And also there were like three main characteristics of a ZK system, which are soundness, completeness, and zero knowledge. So if the claim made by the prover is accurate, like it's correct, it's not false, then in most of the cases it will always be verified. However, if the claim made by the prover is false, it is wrong, then in all the cases, verifier will decline that proof. And in the entire process of this proving and this verification, there is no information revealed. It's a complete zero knowledge chamber where you do not reveal any important information to the system and even to the verifier. So for example, like we are building a private voting application where the person who comes to the app, they can simply log in and they can cast a vote. But the catch here is that the system analyzes that, this particular person A, B, Alice, Bob, they have given their votes, but it won't be able to tell to which party or to which individual they gave their votes to. And again, the votes will be automatically added to the person or the organization they casted vote for. This can be the example of a private voting which has a very great potential and use case for ZK. If you are building a similar application, you first need to define what exactly you are proving. Now, you have to decide what exactly is going to be private and what is going to be public. Now, in this case, like in the private voting example, what is going to be private is going to be my vote. Like if I voted for person A or person B, this vote is going to be private. But the public information is going to be that me as a person has casted a vote. Right? Like it all makes sense, because if I keep my identity, if verifier is not able to tell if I casted a vote or not, like it completely doesn't make sense about a voting application. Like we have to cast a vote, but our votes should be anonymous. This is exactly what it is. So let's go through this content. For example, my age, this is another example for the age verification. My private input is like my real age, 25. The public input, that is a threshold, 18. Here the statement can be, the claim from my end can be, I am older than 18. I am older than 18, and in the real world, this entire setup is going to ask me to prove you are 18 plus. All right. So on the basis of the problem statements you're working on, you have to define what are the private inputs and what are the public inputs. Like what is private, what is going to stay public. In the second step, you decide the circuit language. Now just keep this in mind that whatever applications that we built, first up, there is a mental model that this is going to be my logic, these are going to be the parameters, this will be the use case. The second thing is the choice of the languages or the frameworks that you make. It is similar to the languages that you can choose for writing, building your own website or maybe your first mobile application. In the similar manner, you have to choose your circuit language. Now, in this, in these videos, we are picking up Noir as a best starting point for beginners. Circom is the alternative. It is mostly used in production, but again, it requires a more deeper understanding of the arithmetic constraints. So let's go with Noir as a beginner's choice for these workshops. And yes, again, I would highly recommend that you also refer to the Noir documentation as we go through the hands-on part. We'll be using Noir for writing ZK proofs. Now, third, you have to write the circuit code. Just keep it in mind. Circuit, just have a mental impression that whenever we talk about ZK circuits, is basically the piece of code that contains the logic for your ZK proofs. Okay, so there's basically a main function where you show the intake of public and private inputs, and then you have the constraints. I won't go very deep into this because we'll be doing it hands-on. So like this is a very basic thing. Like we talked about age verification in the previous slides, right? So public input is going to be the constraint, that is the 18 years of age as a threshold, and private input is going to be my actual age. So this function basically talks about, like, it checks if my age, which is like the private input, is actually greater than or equal to the threshold value, that is 18. So 25 greater than equal to 18 in this particular example. So this is basically how you can write the commands in the circuits, and it's not just limited to age, it can be for various other things as well. Now, after, like, take an example of C++ as a language. Like when we write code, we first compile it, right, to check if it has any errors, it has any syntax or any logical errors, right? And when we enter the inputs, we can find any runtime errors. Take the similar concept here. So we're going to run these compilation commands in the terminal to see if, like, my circuit can be compiled or it's correct. Now what happens mainly here is that my circuit is in English language, it is in human readable form, it has some keywords, a proper syntax, it converts into ACIR. Okay, it converts into ACIR notation in Noir, and like if it's Circom, then it's R1CS format. Okay, it's basically a mathematical format that the proving and the verification system understands basically. In the second manner, like if you want to understand it, so like we write the code in high level language. Whether we do it in C++ or Java, the code gets compiled, and when it runs, it's basically the binary logic, right? It gets converted into the low level language that the machine understands, and then the machine executes on that part. It has a similar concept applied. Fifth is witnesses. Now, so far, we have defined the logic of these circuits. We have written the code where, we define the circuits in Noir. We have compiled the circuit for the ACIR representation. Now, we have to generate the witness. Now, witness are going to be the set of private and public inputs that are present in the prover.toml files. And Nargo basically runs a circuit and produces a witness file, which proves that all the constraints are, like, satisfied. So for example, if my program talks about age verification, that my age 25 should be greater than 18, then here I'm going to share these 25 and 18 values in the prover.toml file, so that while the circuit runs, there is a check performed that, okay, my logic talks about the user age should be greater than the threshold value. So these witnesses are used for the checking. For example, like you do the testing in your applications, right? You run various unit test cases, you run various, function test cases. It is very, no, not exactly similar, but yeah, the concept can be related with that manner. Now, in step 6, we have the trusted setup, but it's only for Circom. Like we are doing it in Noir, which is the ultra plonk. So you don't basically have to dive deep into the slide. Now, generate proof. So we can simply write the command to generate proof because we needed a circuit, we needed witnesses, and then we are good to generate the proof locally on our machine. And after we generate the proof, we can verify the proof, right? And this proof verification will take place off chain right now on our machines. Like if you want the on chain verification, you can definitely go with ZK Verify integrated, and we will talk about it in our future videos, like how that actually works. And once you have generated proofs, verified it, you can build a complete front end and add some back end things around it. So try to understand this, that ZK circuit is the engine. Okay, it's the engine that keeps your machine running. For the machine spare parts, you basically need to wrap this engine around the front end and the back end. So it's like, imagine a motor engine for your car. That is your ZK circuit that has all the logic, it keeps your car running. But for the car model, your seats, the steering and the other parts, you need to build the front end and the other back end components that can facilitate these input intake, proof generation, and then later the attestation submission. All right. So but just know one thing, that ZK app, like building these may sound very appealing, very easy, but again reality is very much different. But again, no worries, we all of us start at some point, so you don't have to think about it a lot. You just have to build something, reiterate, and keep improving. So keep calm and build with ZK Verify. Now let's switch to the hands-on presentation.